haven't seen one person today who isn't in high glee over the whole thing. And incidentally, you look a little too smug to suit my taste right now.
Ruthie, don't. Don't do this to yourself. You're too good a guy.
It's easy for you to say. I wish I were in your position and you were in mine.
Oh, Ruth.
Oh, don't you look at me that way.
I'm truly sorry it's embarrassed you. You're distressed now, but it'll pass.
How can you marry someone like her? You'll be bored to death in 6 weeks.
Let's not talk about her.
What's she ever done to deserve you? Gone to a few parties, made a trip to Europe every year, learned how to play six-hand canasta? Or maybe it's her figure, Roy.
Ruth.
If it's her figure, remember, somebody pounds it back into shape every morning after those big nights. And if it weren't for several dozen foundation garments...
Oh, stop it, Ruth.
You've made a fool out of me for some grown-up child who probably never did anything for herself. Servants paid to live for her.
Please, you're raising your voice. People are looking.
Let them look. A scene in the cocktail lounge makes good reading, and we always make the papers, don't we?
Voice, will you keep your voice down?
Why don't you go back to Asia or someplace and write another book? I hope I never see you again.
Ruth! Ruth!
Roy looked foolish shouting after me. I looked even more foolish trying to make a dignified exit through the tears. Oh, leave it to me. I did a good job. I went off stage like a second lead in the little theater production. The next day, I didn't go to the office. I felt weak and weary and sick all over. And I didn't answer the phone until 3 in the afternoon. Hello?
Me.
Oh,
I'm trying to get you all day.
what for?
To tell you that we're friends, you and I. I hate like the devil to think that you really meant it when you said you never wanted to see me again. I sent you a letter last night, but I'd rather tell you what I said in person.
Now, look, Roy.
Oh, let me go on, will you? A man rarely meets a woman like you. I was lucky. Real lucky. Ruth, you can send me away altogether if you want to, but I'd miss you for the rest of my life, and that's the truth.
But you're going to marry her.
Ruth, I want to talk with you calmly, decently, honestly. I want you for a friend. Mixing a couple of drinks in my apartment around 5 tonight. I hope you'll be there.
All of a sudden, I saw a way out of everything. And I spent the next 2 hours getting ready for Roy. I remember I was wearing a new black crepe sheath by Dior and my pastel mink. It was a cold night, but the air made me feel good. Better than I've ever felt. I was politely late.
You came. Let me take your coat, huh?
It's a little chilly. I think I'll keep it on.
Martini? Manhattan?
Music, I think. Now a martini.
Already had them fixed. I knew you wouldn't pass up a Mason special.
You were rather certain in your pretty speech on the phone, weren't you?
I meant it. And I am glad you're here, Ruth. All of that highly lacquered veneer you show your public is all right for them, but as for me, I'll take you the way I know you.
Oh? Tell me more.
Underneath $40,000 a year and being the best dressed, you're quite a gal. One look told me that.
This amounts to a hats-off conversation.
Now, Ruth, we're ready to talk, you and I. Let's do it, huh? For the first time since we met, I know all about you. I know what makes you work.
And I don't like that one bit, Roy. I don't like being ripped open for the public to watch.
You don't understand.
Don't touch me.
Ruth.
Yes, it's a gun, Roy.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Ruth. Ruth, stop this. You got it all wrong. Put down that gun. Get a doctor. We'll say it was an accident.
Stay away from me.
Oh, the doctor. No. No, it wasn't supposed to be this way at all. I wrote you.
I stood there looking down at him. He tried to talk again, but he couldn't say a word. And then, all of a sudden, he was dead. It hadn't occurred to me exactly what I was going to do after I had killed Roy Mason. I remember, though, I finished my martini, wiped up the spilled drink, and then just sat and looked at Roy, lying there on the floor.
Hello?
And then I was aware of someone pounding.
Hello in there? What happened? Hello? Happening, somebody? Hello? Is everything all right in there? Oh, hello, miss. I live in the apartment next door, and I thought I heard gunshots in here.
You did.
What?
Over there.
Oh. Well, I better phone the police. Is there a phone?
On the desk.
Hello? Operator? Get me the police. Yes, I said the police. Right away, they're going to shoot me.
No one lifted a hand to stop me. Downstairs, I got a taxi back to my own apartment, changed, threw some things into a bag, gathered up my jewelry and what money I had. I took my car out of the garage and drove to the station and caught a train as far as Greenwich. There, I registered under another name at a small hotel. I was going to go on up to Canada the next day, but there was something I just had to see before I left the country. So instead, I caught a train back to New York.
Sergeant Collins, homicide.
Sergeant, I wonder if you could give me some information.
I'll try, miss.
I'm from the Kansas City Star. I happen to be on vacation in New York, but as long as I'm here, I'm trying to cover the Mason case.
Yeah. Well?
Has Mr. Mason been buried yet, or do you...
Edgeflower Mortuary. Rosary tonight. Burial tomorrow.
Thank you, Sergeant. I was at the Edgeflower early, waiting across the street. It was cold and blustery, but I wanted to see her walk in. I wanted to see how well she could take it. But Elizabeth Granger didn't appear at his rosary. The next morning, I wore dark glasses and a veil. I went to his funeral, but she didn't. Hello, Petey. I've been waiting for you.
Boss, don't you know the police are looking all over town for you?
Petey, who is Elizabeth Granger? Where does she live?
Oh, that.
She isn't in the phone book. She wasn't at his funeral. There are no pictures of her in the papers. You know these things. Tell me, please.
I can't help you. Nobody can help you now. You're a walking dead woman.
Petey, listen to me.
I don't want to listen to you. I'm afraid to. I'm afraid I'll end up like you someday. Well-fed, well-dressed, successful, well-known, but dead.
I came here for help, not to listen to your opinion.
Everything you ever said in your life was a lie. I did your legwork, looked up things for you, verified them, checked them. Well, I checked about you just to satisfy my curiosity. You didn't go to Stanford or graduate school at Columbia. You were born and brought up in Hell's Kitchen. You went as far as PS 432. You hated everything you had and were, and you tried to wipe it out.
Petey, you must know. Tell me about Elizabeth Granger.
I'll tell you this much. You're not going to have the pleasure of watching her suffer along with you. You know why? Because Roy Mason wrote you a letter that came this morning. I read it, because I never thought I'd see you again. Do you want to know what's in it?
Yes, please.
It makes you look 10 times as foolish as you do even now. He said that there was no such person as Elizabeth Granger.
You're lying.
He just invented her. just invented her to get away from you.
You're lying. There has to be an Elizabeth Granger.
Here's the letter. Look for yourself.
It was true. Every word of it.